Good morning, FYI family. A very good morning to each and every one of you. How are you folks doing this morning? Well, I hope that you guys are great. We are checking in with you folks. Again, we're not leaving you on your own. We dumping you all on your own. We making promises that we're not keeping in. A lot of folks make promises they don't keep. We're keeping our promises to you folks, And promise was made for cash grant. Promise was made for cash grant, and that promise, them boys are running from that promise, running from it, you know, running from it, running from it. We're watching that. Folks, let me tell you all, I want you all laughing. I want to make a confession this morning, right? I won't give you all the direction to pro. I can make a confession, and then I can side with the earphone. I'm giving you the cue early. I can side with the earphone, I can make a confession. I ain't never, when the rain fall, whatever it is back home, complain that it's cold. That's the confession. I ain't complaining again that it's cold at all. Where we are in the south, it looks beautiful outside. It's bright and it looks very sunny. But when you open that door, no, no, no. It is super, super cold. Super cold. Super cold. So I'm not complaining ever again that it's cold back home. I'm not complaining again. Did I tell you guys this is my first? It's going to be my first Christmas in the US of A. I've always come during summer. I got a little of November one time, just the beginning of November. But I've never been in the US for Christmas. This is it. This is it. So I'm anchoring down. I'm anchoring down. Look, I saw the mayor. Don't let me say somebody. Alfred Mentor. He said I was dressed for, what he said I was dressed for? Uh, Summer, spring, or summer. I was saying, Mr. Mayor, my jacket got a nice lay inside. But if you want, help out, don't just identify problems. You got offer solutions to Mr. Mayor. But it is cold. It is cold, and I identify with you guys. I identify with you guys who say it's cold and you all are dreading the cold. I have a special respect for you all now more than ever before because you all trudge through the cold, to do the work in Uncle Sam country. So I wanna give a special shout out to you guys. Some of y'all on your way to work right now. Some of y'all in the bus. You're in the Uber. All right. You're heading to work. You might be heading home. You're in between places. Good morning to each and every one of you. I'm gonna get a cup of coffee in a second. In my utensil for drinking. We don't believe in cups. My utensil for drinking. We're gonna get it shortly. But folks, I saw in today's headline this this break-in at the Ministry of Home Affairs and the fact that they've apprehended a 48-year-old suspect has been arrested. Yesterday, I reflected on this, and I started to box my mind back. And I want to tell you, let me connect some dots. There was this breaking this time at the Ministry of Home Affairs. Wasn't it just last week? There was a break-in at the Criminal Investigation Department, CID. CID went at pains to point out that the building is under reconstruction. It has not been handed over to them as yet. It's still under the purview of the contract and all that. But that CID building, it's in Evil areas, isn't it? Wherever it is, right? It's a police force building. The point I'm making is that people don't even seem to respect that. And it tells of a breakdown in law and order. If that's happening to the police force and the Home Affairs Ministry that has purview over the Guyana police force, where's the common man in all of this? A couple months ago, I just want to connect the dots for you. Wasn't there a break-in at the Ministry of Housing? You all remember that? The Ministry of Housing. There was a break-in there. You all remember that? You all remember how the Breakdown Police Station, good morning, how the Breakdown Police Station was raised? You remember the wire, the light and the sponge? The man said that that's what 80% of Breakdown Police Station was burnt to the ground. by what police said was an inmate. The first they accused a lot of folks in the diaspora and so on, and then the then Minister of Home Affairs, I understand now why he's the former Minister of Home Affairs, said it was an inmate with a lighter, a wire, and a sponge. Raised 80% of the Breakdown police station. You remember also, a couple months ago, there was a man who scaled the fence of the State House, almost fatally injured a presidential guard. But what is fascinating to me is that these things seem to get the limelight for a couple days, if so long, and then they fade away. We never know who was apprehended and what is the final outcome. A 10-year jail sentence, they were set free. You never know what is the outcome, which can lead to a lot of speculation that these things are all right. I can't tell you how to speculate, but you never know. It's like the 2022 census. The people of our country footed the bill, $2 billion for the 2022 census. We still don't know what is the result of that census. We still don't know. It is like the black box. I saw the president, the man got the fortitude, the testicular fortitude to talk about those 5. And 2-3 years later, we don't know what are the full circumstances that led to that helicopter going down. This is the kind of country we live in. And those implications for national security. And note, we haven't as yet spoken about the bombing at the gas station, the mobile gas station region in King Street. The East Penitent police station bombing, that GPL substation at the head of South Ramvelt and Mandela Avenue there, that bombing as well. Thank you so much. The tea has arrived. The coffee. I know some of you are going to be very distracted now. Look, story. I see the size of the cup, the color, the size of the utensil for drinking, the color of it. Another story. But implications for national security, and we should not take these things lightly. Yeah. And look, I'm giving you, since you're all fast, sister, has Merry Christmas on the inside there. And we can tell you all the brand and where to pick it up, and then we got into some affiliate marketing right away. So, looking at that as we come on this morning, it's a simple headline. And as we say, when I was an undergraduate studying law, individually, it looks innocuous. It doesn't jump out at you. But taken together, all the headlines taken together, you begin to see a pattern of incursion in our security apparatus in our country that should not be. Kamala Prasad Bisesar would not take lightly to that in Trinidad and Tobago. Mia Motley, heading to a general election in Barbados, Prime Minister Mia Motley would not take lightly to that either. So, we should not as well. I'm just raising that as some concerns as we begin. Again, I want to shout out our activist Robin Simon. Robin, who highlighted that issue at Bladen Hall North quite recently. And Robin does tremendous work on the East Coast. And I want to point out something to you folks. We got a weird electoral geography because the East Coast, because of its geography, right? I'm trying to see it in my mind's eye. Robin has some purview that stretches, remember all of it is region 4 till you get up on the Linden, way up on the Linden Sussex Highway. She has responsibility for some areas on that side too, because all of that is considered in that block, that geographic block there. But Robin does exceptional work. And I want to recognize her this morning. She got the call and responded to residents there in Bladen Hall North and exposed the demolition of homes that was happening there. Now this morning I went back through um, some of my notes on these issues. I'm not only looking at it locally, but when we look at it internationally, what transpired there at Bladen Hall North, it doesn't even pass the basic of international standards of how you should approach demolition of homes and the relocation of persons. It doesn't even pass the basic international standard. And perhaps we'll get some time in another program to go into some of that, but our time is limited this morning. It's just a check-in. And you'll see I'm going to write some more on that, so you can stay posted to my Facebook profile. I think I'm going to write a letter to the editor on it as well, because we have the responsibility to hold the government accountable, and we have the responsibility too to let you guys know what is happening, and this is part of what we're doing this morning. So when I look back at it, I realize, and you should know, I've said this quite a number of times. If you look to Guyana for a standard, you done set the bar low. You already set the bar low. So we have to look internationally what is happening, and I'll come to a standard just now. My colleague and I were talking last evening about part of my work program for the new year when I get back, and he was remarking. He said, "You look nice on the show, man. You know, you look nice. I just come out here for a couple of days now, Uncle Raymond, Aunt Elizabeth. Just a couple of days. Philip said, look fresh, man." Once you pass the border, you left some of the stress behind you. Philip said, you look different, man. Thank you, Philip. Trust Guyanese, you know. Us Guyanese, we ain't got a thing, you know. We say it as it is, right? We say it as it is. And how we see people, we call them big head, fat girl, big uncle, you know. Guyanese different. We ain't inherit nothing from the British. Redderman, my auntie say. Redderman. You know, we were very plain like that. Philip said, look nice, man. You know, and I come after him, boy. But I'm just alerting you, and I wanted to really recognize Robin this morning for Robin's exceptional work. I didn't want it to go unnoticed, because Robin's hard effort again brought to the fore that families, the homes were demolished yesterday without consultation. This is part of what the international standard is, right? The International Development Bank, the World Bank, they have a standard, and when you look at them together, it says that the residents must be consulted, right? They must have proper notice. Even if they're squatting. And I know some might say, well, it's not a World Bank loan, it's not a loan from the bank developing at the back there, what have you. It is, and this has now come to be accepted as the gold standard in what countries ought to do. So you give notice, proper notice. You consult with people. There is a relocation plan, compensation as well. So when I say they have fallen below the acceptable standard, this is what we're talking about. All right? And again, remember me connecting the dots there on the security breaches we've had that has national security implications, right? Bladen Hall. How many times we've seen Bladen Hall? How many times we have seen Bladen Hall? We saw it at Purika Dam, Mucka Arcadia, Peters Hall, Hillfoot, Success. You see? But so many events on a daily basis interrupt these singular events that they don't look like much. It's just people at Bladen Hall. Just like it was. It's just people at Hillfoot. It's just people at in Linden. What's the area? Amelia's Ward. It's just people behind Amelia's ward. Right? But look how over time, this heavy-handed nature of the PPP stacks up. Look how it stacks up. Right? Look how it stacks up. So thank you very much, Robin, for being on the ball. And I think I also saw Kadaki. Did I see Kadaki in there too, highlighting this issue at Bladen Hall? Our brother Kadaki Amsterdam. I thought I did as well. So thank you very much, Kadaki, as well. And Robin Simon, who been on the ground, alerted, the residents called them and they showed up. They showed up. Remember yesterday morning I said that some of this is going to do with presence. More presence in 2026. More presence, more underground. And you're going to see that at least demonstrated by us. Less in studio and more underground. I'm so grateful for the Southern hospitality. This cup has written on the inside, ho, ho, ho. So no plans, relocation plans, no consultation, no transparency in Bladen Hall. Thank you very much, Robin Simon, Kadaki Amsterdam, and all the others who were with them, supporting them. Right? Let's talk about the other standard that we're falling far below. Massive blackout last evening. Massive blackout last evening in Guyana. Was it a nationwide blackout? I saw people in Berbice saying they were in blackout. People in Berbice is region 5, 6. I saw people in over the river, region 3, say we in blackout too. Georgetown, we in blackout. Well, you all see me with my little candle. Huh? You also had my little candle. I got my little candle flickering in the darkness. What are you going to do? But I wanted to talk about this because the little blackout last night should not have come as a surprise when we understand that the Public Utilities Commission, in its 2025 report, said that GPL had failed 8 out of 9 of its targets. 8 out of 9 of its targets. And I'm certain President Irfan Ali is going to be out today talking about heads going to roll soon at GPL. And in 2024, 8 out of the 9 targets the company failed. You should know that GPL is now managed, friends, family, and favorites government, and flatterers, and the Nandalal brother, Kesh Nandalal. He was brought in from Canada. He was living a very opulent, plush lifestyle in Canada. He was brought in to manage GPL. We couldn't find nobody else. He had to be a family. You see? Had to be a family. And reasonable Guyanese, reasonable PPP supporters, they'll be honest that under the APNU AFC government, blackouts were severely diminished. They were almost a thing of the past. And we didn't have oil money to spend. We didn't have 2 power ships. But you see, you can't beat competence. When people understand and know what they're doing, it's different. And that is going to be a choice for Guyanese, in the not so distant future. Whether you want your friend to be in charge, whether you want your family to be in charge, whether you want the person that you like, who could moonwalk and break dance and catch anti-banter, or you want competency. You're going to make that choice. Do you want competency? Do you want the system to work? Or is real like? Sometimes you get both in a person, in a government. You like the people and they got the competency. Bless God. But I can go the sense type of competency. You understand me? When you go in the hospital You got an ailment. You asking, we is relative? We related? What's your party card? Or you want somebody who could fix the problem? Think about that. Think about that. So, outages. Outages. The benchmark for outages per year, I think, I hope I'm reading it right, could be 85. We did 125. We failed the benchmark. Right? In terms of hours, 80 hours was the target. We did 125. Right? We failed in billing. We failed in meter reading. Right? We failed in availability. Everything. We failed in 8 out of 9 benchmarks. We failed. Right? I remember I spoke about international standards. Regional standards matter as well. Right? We did 16 times worse in 2016, in 2024, last year, than the closest Caribbean country in terms of these power benchmarks. 16 times worse than the nearest Caribbean country. And them buying a power ship, them buying a oil money. Compared to Trinidad, we got a small population to provide for, to cater for. Compared to Jamaica, we got a couple people here. And you got blackouts more than you have lights. With all the promises, I saw folks circulating on social media. Keshna and Lal, I think just yesterday or the day before, saying that we'll have more power for Christmas. Well, as of last night, is less power for Christmas. So I just wanted to give you my observations there, right? All of the benchmarks we were failed. Regionally, we're performing many times worse than the Caribbean benchmark. How could we modernize a country like this? And don't let me even go to gas to shore, because right now we're failing so badly. We have delayed the project, not the contractor. And we are paying the contractor right now. They got us in court. And we could be paying them as much as $100 million because they're on ground and we're wasting their time. And their time is not free. So we could be paying the contractors $100 million. It's like free money. What could $100 million do for US? What could that do for our grid? What could that do for our grid? Let me hasten on quick because I'm a little past what we wanted to do. There's going to be a show just now, not a check-in. All right? I want to note that we've observed the president's foray into this license issue. Right? This license issue, this, what else comes out of motor vehicle and road safety. First, we saw a very hodgepodge ad hoc policy and plan. The minister talked about policemen and tint, and they seemed to have a separate policy. A couple of days later, they came back with a national policy on tint. And now the president has bypassed the minister. He has come frontally and saying people got 6 months to regularize themselves. Now, he said a lot of people buy the book and got a book by all kinds of means that are not legal, right? But the public is asking. I saw a lot of commentary that suggests that 85% of the country in problems. 85% of the country gonna be in problems now with this new system. One and two. Who are the people that facilitated the illegalities? Who are the people who have facilitated these illegalities? And I usually pay very close attention to Ronald Austin's Facebook page, Ronald Austin Jr. and Sr., and also our own parliamentary representative, on Foreign Affairs, Riaz Rupnarain, on these issues. But as I got up this morning, I saw that we're in a expanded agreement with the Americans in terms of security and training and so forth. And why this is important, because in the last month, if not in the last 2 months, we've noticed that we've had some engagement. This is the Ghana military with the Colombians. We've had some engagements with the Brazilians. Did I see the Surinamese? And we've had some engagements as well with the Americans. And now today, we see that they have expanded. We've now expanded, right, on this issue, on the issue of security, military cooperation. Lots of it is not known as yet, but we have seen that Guyana signed a major statement of intent with the United States to expand defense cooperation. We've seen that. Now, if you are connecting the dots again, remember, the Americans and the Venezuelans got some tension right now, and we got some tensions with them. But I believe that even though that we rely on the Americans for security in this sense, in this larger sense, a very aggressive neighbor to the West, we ought to have information, right? We cannot, I'm thinking in legal terms now, we used to say you could never oust the jurisdiction of the court in a contract or any kind of an arrangement like that. We cannot oust the jurisdiction of Parliament in oversight. That's what I was thinking about. We cannot remove oversight ever from Parliament. And what is mind-boggling, this government doesn't seem to like Parliament. They have a clear majority. There is little to fear politically in the 13th Parliament. They have a 36-seat majority as against 12 and 16. But they don't seem to like the National Assembly very much at all. As we wrap up this morning, we got some foundations to build as a country. As we talk about modernization, as we talk about becoming a modern state, reliable electricity, functioning ministries, right? Functioning ministries, activated laws, transparent processes, the protection of our citizens, and as I said, parliamentary oversight. Parliamentary oversight. Bladen Hall, GPL blackout, the license purge, the EID vacuum, the military agreements, shrouded as they are not happening in a vacuum. Remember, we have two laws that should provide for data governance that are not activated, operational, brought into force. The Digital Identity Act and the Data Protection Act, not yet enforced. We're watching all of that. Taken individually, any one of these issues might look innocuous, but taken together, you see how much work we got ahead to do? Holding government responsible. Thank you for joining us this morning, folks. That's going to do it for us at this end. That's our time, good folks. That's our broadcast. Stay safe, and I want to say again, thanks to the great hospitality of the Southerners, the Narines. I can tell you all, my family, everybody, we are like the ideal Guyanese family. Narines, Pandays, Singhs, Chongs, everybody in this family. Tina, how you doing? Uncle Henry, how you doing? Everybody, Jasani, how you doing? Everybody in this family. You see, this is Guyanese family. Stay safe, guys. We're going to see you guys real soon. Thanks for checking in with us as we're checking in with you. Stay safe.